He grabbed a knife from his pack and dug it into the narrow space between the hatch and floor, dislodging caked dirt. Summoning all his strength, he grunted and yanked. The hatch gave way. He squeezed through and lowered himself feet first. With a hook and wire he'd screwed into the cavity years before, he reached up, replaced the handle in its recess, and repositioned the rug before lowering the hatch. Sweat dripped from his forehead. He checked his watch again and listened. No other sensors had been true. True's connection. I'm asking for a favor. Eric Moss is the CEO of a company named Contigo Valley. The background noise made it difficult to hear. You're fading, I said into the hands-free microphone. He shouted over the din. He and his daughter are old friends. Moss was at the top of his field and disappeared 2 days ago. Emailed a resignation with no explanation. Do you suspect foul play? Jack gave directions to the pilot, then returned. This is a billion-dollar company with given the amount of high-tech equipment in the place, that was one positive. It was difficult to take it personally when other businesses had been affected. I stepped further inside so the workmen couldn't hear. Who exactly are the people in my office? Mr. and Mrs. Finch. It's heartbreaking what they've been through. I didn't think you'd mind under the circumstances. Getting to the point was not Colette's strong suit. That's fine. What are they here for? A background check. I assured them the name Private means he's held UK and Australian citizenships and was knighted 2 years earlier for a life of service to the community. Prior to that, he used the title Doctor after being awarded an honorary doctorate in humanities from the University of Wollongong. The son of a High Court judge, he joined the Air Force and flew cargo planes. Interestingly, there was no record of him serving in Vietnam, despite his Who's Who entry citing him as a pilot during the war. My guess was that his father's connection. She swung a notepad around. These are some of the things his team has produced. One was a device that injected fluids directly into bone. This life-saving device can be used by soldiers in the field. It goes into the shoulder or shin and can deliver liters of fluids like plasma in minutes. They've been snapped up by armies from just about every nation. Victorian paramedics and hospitals are trialing them next month. Sales like that were lucrative. Does Contigo own the patent? Yep. Screen. News bulletin showed crime scene tape around a suburban home. A woman had been brutally murdered in Clara. A banner across the bottom read Fiddens Wharf Road. It's the same street as Louise Simpson, Colette said. Potential victims have been released, but I can tell you that homicide detectives have arrived. On her laptop, Darlene had pulled up the Google Street images of Louise's address. My heart sank. The reporter was across and down the road, but the house looked similar to the one on Darlene's screen. Bruce Davitt announced that residents in the suburb of Clara were shocked at the gruesome discovery. As we watched people walking dogs recoil with predictable horror at the mention of murder in the contained a neatly made double bed with a floral bedspread. A pine tall boy held silver-framed family photos. Above the bed hung a large wedding photo of the couple gazing into each other's eyes at the beach. The wardrobe doors were open. Female clothes filled only half the space. The horror had unfolded in the kitchen. The body was slumped forward in a chair. Long brown hair was matted with blood. The stench in the room was through my veins. I wanted to ram the smirk on his face right to the back of his head. Darlene was quickly between us. For God's sake, are you still going on about Becky marrying Craig? This is about Louise Simpson, not you. Mark stood intimidatingly close to Darlene. I can get you kicked out of here in a flash, he snapped. This is between Craig and me. I had no idea what had inflamed him again. What's your problem? A woman has been murdered, be here. She buckled to her knees. Zoe needs me, she's just a baby. Wait! I pushed through as the woman continued shouting for someone to listen to her. I knelt down with her. Was Louise minding your child? The woman dug her fingers into my arms. Zoe, she's 8 weeks old! Her voice became higher pitched. Why Finch's visit? But I had to face reality. The Finches may have killed Louise for the baby. Mark pulled me aside. We'll put out a statewide alert for the missing child. I'll let the powers know to prepare a media release. We'll need a photo and description of what the child was wearing. Courtney Ruffalo had a photo on her phone taken that morning. Zoe had on a pink cotton jumpsuit, the a yellow and white flower embroidered on the chest. Detective Constable Massey spoke quietly to me as I passed it over a door. She gripped the top of her blouse and looked back at the house, explaining she'd been to bingo at the local club and had only been home half an hour. Everything was as she left it. My children complain about me living so close to the golf course, but this has been my home for over 40 years. Cutting short her conversation, Mark gave her his card and asked her to call him if she remembered seeing anyone or anything out of place. She toddled back to the house, muttering something about what the world was coming to.